Who was the second from?
Ollie?
Okay, can we get a roll call vote, please?
President Request?
Yes.
Vice President Byron Lennon?
Yes.
Director Beth Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace? Director Greg Wood?
Yes. Well, we show that there's a 5-0 vote to come out of the closed session at 6:06. That's now, there was nothing to report in closed session. Let's now continue our general session. It is now 6:06 p.m. and let's start the general session of the Roseland Community Services District. I'll lead with the public comments. This time, any person may address the board on any subject matter within the district jurisdiction which is not on the agenda. However, any non-agenda matter will be referred to for staff for a report and an action at the subsequent board meeting, and no action can be taken on any such action discussed unless the action has been authorized under Section 5495 Board of the Government Code. Any person may also address the board on any agenda matter at the time the matter is discussed prior to the board's consideration and action. Speakers are requested to limit the comments to 5 minutes. It's now 6:07 and we open the floor for public comments.
Hearing none, Rick, I have a public comment.
Go ahead, Byron.
As a member of the community, my father's comments that were directed toward a school board director are relevant to a director in any community organization. I have modified them slightly to fit Rcsd. One responsibility of a director is to prepare Rcsd for the future. This will take listening to the employees and customers while looking for ingenuity, intelligence, and foresight. A director must profit from the lessons of the past and the present. Ethical character is an integral part of moral decision-making, along with critical thinking and developing the ability to analyze accurately. Thank you.
Thank you, Byron. That could become the director's model, right? Byron. Thank you for that, sir. At this time, we'll open up to the teleconference. If there's anyone in the community who would like to identify themselves on record to be recognized for the minutes, please do so.
John Joyce, reporting for the Roseman News.
Good evening, John.
Hi.
Is there anyone else in the community you'd like to be recognized? Okay, with that, let's continue down to the approval of the minutes. It's for M1. It's approved the May 25th, 2022 regular board meetings. Now get a motion, please.
So moved, Byron.
We have a motion by Vice President Glenn. May I get a second?
Second.
We have a second by Director Wallace. Roll call vote, please.
President Request?
Yes.
Vice President Byron Lennon?
Yes.
Director Beth Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace?
Yes.
Director Greg Wood? Director Greg Wood?
Yes. Yes. And with the record show for NP1 to approve the May 25th, 2022 board meetings, a regular board meeting of the 5-0 vote there. Let's move down to the consent calendar. We have CC1 that's approved the check voucher register from 5/17/2022 to 5/30/2022. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved, Byron.
I have a motion by Vice President Glenn. May I get a second?
One second.
There was a second by Director Wallace. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
President Request?
Yes.
Vice President Byron Lennon?
Yes.
Director Beth Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace?
Yes.
Director Greg Wood?
Yes. Was that you had all the directors on that last one? Wallace, you have all 5?
Yes, I had all 5.
Okay, I'm sorry. So will you show consent calendar CC number 1, the approval of the check register from 5/17/2022 to 5/30/2022? It was a 5-0 vote on directors. Just down the public hearing. and this is the LLAD number 2. And Steve, as a presenter online, are you going to take that, Steve? What's that?
The presenter's online.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Hi.
Okay. Hello, good evening. Okay, you're there.
Hi, good evening. My name is Daryl Ann, and I am the consultant to Rosemont CSD from NDS. Tonight, we are seeking adoption of a resolution of the Board of Directors of Rosemont CSD, confirming the assessment and ordering the levy for the Landscaping and Lighting Assessment District Number 2 for fiscal year 22-23. At the May 25th, 2022 board meeting, the Board of Directors approved the resolution of initiation as well as the resolution of instruction as part of the annual process. So after today's public input, the public input of today's public hearing, the Board of Directors may adopt the resolution confirming the assessments and ordering the levy and assessments in the district. So just a quick background of LL82. The district was formed in 2000, and it's pursuant to the Landscaping and Lighting Act of 1972. There are currently 51 zones, of which 39 are annexed. The assessments involve approximately 3,950 parcels. Revenues from the assessments are utilized for ongoing operations, maintenance, and also servicing of street lighting improvements. The maximum assessment for LL80 number 2 is increased by CPI, or Consumer Price Index. So for the fiscal year 2022-23, the increase over the prior year was 8.5%. The total cost of the fiscal year 22-23 levy for LL82 is approximately $215,155. And the CPI increase, again, was at 8.5. So that index in the CPI is for the Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim area for March. The purpose for the assessment is ongoing maintenance, operation, and servicing of the street lights. And that is the information. If anyone
thank
has...
you very much. Okay, so let's, hey, directors, let's get and Lizette, are we going to do the public hearing and then do the motion before the direct discussion?
Yes, we have to do that. We have to open the public hearing.
Okay, so having heard her presentation, we'll now open the floor for the public hearing regarding, yes?
Before you open public hearing, before we go into receiving this is done the true up the cost of providing the lighting service. And to remind the public that may be listening that the Rosemont Community Service District basically sits as a collector of the revenue that is generated to do this. Southern California Edison owns the lights. They maintain the lights, and we simply have to collect that by law. So that's what we're doing. The law basically says we have to study to ensure that we're keeping up with the cost of the operation. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. At this time, having heard the presentation and the briefing from the general manager of what this is for, we open the floor for public hearing. Okay. Seeing none from the public, let's continue down. Steve, is there an additional presentation by you or the staff?
No, Apologize that I spoke. I should have waited until my turn.
I see. I do have a question just so the community will know. The fees that are collected, I know she said in her presentation, just for good clarification, what's collected is a pass-through from us to the utility Edison to pay for them, and the only thing that's collected, that's what's needed to run the lighting, correct?
That is correct, minus a small amount for the administration for our staff's time in doing all this.
But this is not a revenue maker for nobody. It's just paying what, giving them enough to pay for the lighting.
Not for the RCSD. It is.
I mean for us, for the district.
Correct.
Okay. So we have there's no public, the public didn't come forward with any testimony just yet. We have a clarification and briefing by Steve as to the resolution. We had no public testimony to take or receive, so we're going to close the public hearing. And can I get a motion for the adoption of resolution number 20227, confirming the assessment and ordering the levy for landscape lighting and assessment for District Number 2 for fiscal year 2022-23?
So moved, Byron.
We have a motion by Vice President Glenn, and may I get a second?
Second, Wallace.
A motion by Director Wallace. At this time, we open it up. Is there any discussion from any district directors regarding the resolution? Okay, hearing no additional, can I get a roll call vote, please?
President Rick West,
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon,
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes.
Director Greg White.
Yes.
The record shows that for the adoption of resolution 20227, it was a 5-0 vote. We'll continue now with presentations, and we have the water reclamation plan update, and we have the John Houghton, Director of Public Works. Go ahead, John.
Ryan's going to take over for me. Good evening, Ryan. Good evening. So at the wastewater plant for the employees, first off, we've received two new employees, Sean Pinningtail and Connor Johnson. I'd like to thank Steve Perez and the board for hiring these two individuals. They have been doing good, and I believe they'll be an asset to the district, but also to the public. For the last 2 weeks, the RCSD has been doing a lot of work with the two new gentlemen to get them experience to the plant, show them lines, so they know the general operation of our facility. We've been doing a lot of ground maintenance, headworks cleaning, and we installed a second 12-inch check valve in our headworks pumps. We've also been working with the contractor a lot to complete the freshwater startup. As far as the wastewater treatment plant expansion, in the new updated construction timeline, they were set to start with the freshwater test this Monday and was to be completed this Friday. As with any startup, there's been unforeseen problems, and RCSD is not immune to this. We've been working through it. We're trying to work through the problems. In the new schedule, next Monday, the 13th, we're supposed to start introducing influent to the wastewater treatment plant and begin the 30-day startup. We will see how the rest of the week goes and see if we can make it there. So that's your goal? That's our goal. But if there's something there, you're going to push it back? There has been some problems that they're working through. Some engineering designs, some sludge pump control strategies that still have to be worked out, some scum pump issues. But even though there's been those setbacks, there has been some positive things. Simpson sandblasting completed the coating of Clarifier 1, as well as the repairs to Clarifier 2. Circulating air has been there this week. They are installing the ductwork to the bars and blowers. And so we're going to get a good test with the temperature. We also ordered a portable evaporating cooler to use in the time to keep the blowers until the air conditioning unit can arrive and be installed. That's a few weeks away yet for that, but at least the ducting will be installed, and we'll have the portable unit to start up and start running, not to cause any damage to the new blowers. But we have to get through the PLC startups first. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Rick, I'd like to add to that just a little bit. The clarifier number 1, the recode of that being done, while it was down, we determined we needed to accomplish that task, and that's why we're reporting on that now, as well as those that are doing it did the new clarifier also. Same company. And the portable evap cooler is a very inexpensive insurance policy in the event that something should happen with the HVAC acquisition getting here in a timely fashion. Have good reports on that as far as when it's going to be delivered or the timeline. However, the staff as well as myself felt that it was imperative, and staff being John and Ryan, that we have a standby in the event that we have a foul up on that delivery, so we can keep the blowers cool, and we'll transition. And that unit that we buy at a very inexpensive cost in the whole scheme of things can be used elsewhere within the district.
Well, it seems like we're progressing, like I said. We'll get there, like I said, sooner than later. But, Ryan, did you have anything else to report on that?
I have one more comment.
Okay, go ahead.
I should have brought it up elsewhere, but I'm going to bring it up now because it's imperative. Bear Valley is in desperate need of a compressor. We have a compressor. It costs $8,000. It's Ryan, is it 14 years old?
Yes, that is correct. It was installed with the new, with the previous facility in 2007, 2008.
Right. It's had 4 years of service, and it's sitting. We have no anticipated use for that compressor at all. Bear Valley is in a very tight way, and they need that particular compressor is the same one that they use currently. So they are wanting to buy it if we're willing to sell it. We are going to make a depreciated price for them and get it to them. They wanted it today. I instructed Ryan that we couldn't do anything until the board was aware of it. I know you can't vote on it, but I will bring it back at the next meeting for a vote. But because it's critical to their use, we are going to do the depreciated value and sell that to Bear Valley. We have no other use. It will sit and not be used at all. And we can at least recoup for the ratepayers a significant amount of our investment in it. I just wanted to brief.
How critical mass is it for them?
It's very critical for them.
I mean, so what I'm saying is it? Well, I don't want to use the word life-threatening. Is this like anything have right now?
Well, when you're refining your extreme, it is very critical.
Okay, how about this? Can we call a special board meeting? Can we have a special board meeting to address that, even if we have to address it telephonically? Because for us to have to wait, to pull together another board meeting to just get the directors to concur on it. If there's something that's going to help the community, I'd like to see if we can do that.
I'm voting in favor of us allowing them to use it right now and deal with it at the next board meeting. If we can legally do that.
Yeah, which one can we legally do the best? Can we loan it to them or rent it to them, Steve? Then vote to sell? Can we just call a special meeting to go special meeting to just get the agreement to let you go ahead and complete the transaction? Because if it's something that can help their community out, I'd like to push that forward as quickly as possible.
I agree.
That is a great alternative. We'll loan it to them. Brian, contact them immediately and we're loaning it to them pending approval for sale by the board.
Absolutely. Will do.
Steve, I have a question. 100 horsepower or the 200 horsepower? Ryan?
I am not sure. I do not have the specs in front of me. I left them at the office. It is a dual motor compressor that was used to
assist.
It was used to upflow sand to our upflow sand filters to filter the water, their effluent, and that's the same thing they are using it for.
Okay, so was this the one that the blowers that came out of our blower building that were replaced by the Airzen units?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. This was down by the sand, right? Okay. Yes, I agree with what Rick is saying, is that it's critical because if they don't have their blowers in place that they need, they could lose process and it really be harmful to the community. So we need to help them out any way we can. Okay, and Lizette, can you schedule a special meeting for an approval vote specifically? By that time, we'll have numbers as far as cost and the sale.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ryan, is that just Ryan? You done with your presentation?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's move it along. Let's start with director's presentation. And Greg, let's start with you, Director Wood.
I have no comment this evening.
Director Stewart?
The only thing is just a comment on what we just talked about right now. I feel like it's great that we were able to help out the sister agency, and I think like what Greg said, it might be us next time we need some help, and we might need to be able to go to them. It's a good feeling to see that we're helping out other agencies that are in our jurisdiction. So I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Director Wallace.
Yeah, Steve, I've been reading the newsletter. You guys do a good job. But I was talking to a group of about 30 people, and they was asking the question being we're in a drought and water restrictions while we're letting the new building go on. And I told them they have to bring their water rights if they're going to build something. And I also told them that you and the staff and the board have been doing a good job.
Community and talk about it, because we talk conservation, but I think encouraging folks to look at native plant material versus drought tolerant. I think that would be an avenue for them to pursue also. With and does that help me on the name? What's the name of the conservation place out there in Antelope Valley Conservation?
I believe it's the Antelope Valley Conservation District.
Okay, yes. They have plant material. They may reference us on their website, so folks will get a chance to go see. But I think all that time in, they wind up being somewhat beneficial to us. But anyway, I think we're all on board with that. The next thing we have here...
President Webb, can I say something real quick, please?
Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
I apologize. I'm feeling a bit under the weather tonight. That's why I'm not in there. And so it's kind of hard for me to talk right now. But I just want to, at the last board meeting, I gave a very impassioned plea along with the line of what Steve just said right now. And I would like to see brought back to the board that because the state has the ability that any water restrictions that they impose statewide, that the restrictions are done by audit. And that way, the agencies that have been complying, like Roseman, from day one, will be given a pass. And the agencies that haven't been complying, which will show up in their audits, those are the ones the state needs to lean on. And I would like to see it brought back to the board to where maybe our agency can draft a letter with that suggestion to the state to say, hey, to us agencies that have complied with the law every step of the way since 2009, that you need to congratulate us and reward us for the good hard work our communities have done. And then the ones that can't prove it through their audits, those are the ones that need to step up to the plate now and not put it on the backs of the communities that have been doing it all along. And that's all I have.
Okay, Greg, yeah, I think, Greg, you brought up a good point. I think from day one, when we started talking about 2020 way back about, conservation numbers, we've done well. But I think maybe the good we did, we're getting penalized for our good work. So maybe asking them to look at that as they move forward, could be something to recognize the district that has done their part. With that, let's move on to legal counsel. Do you have anything, sir?
Nothing to report.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let's move to the general manager's report.
Nothing to report.
Well, Steve, I think the other directors would like a fishing update.
Like I said, nothing to report.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Let's go down with you.
Al's jealous.
It looks like, from my perspective, that I won't be able to either.
Okay. No, Steve, Al said he's not jealous because he's actually going fishing tomorrow.
What's that?
Well, sounds
I didn't catch what.
he's got his trailer up there on the creek, and the creek's running by, and they're sleeping and listening to the creek. You can't beat that, can you, John? Listen to that water.
Let's move on to Lizette, Director of Administration.
Yes, good evening. The State Water Resources Control Board adopted water conservation regulations on Tuesday, May 24th. The main action that the district needed to take was by June 1st to prepare and submit a draft annual water supply and demand assessment to the Department of Water Resources, and we have to submit a final to them by July 1st. KJ has prepared and submitted the draft to the state in order to meet their deadline. Staff will be reviewing it internally and bringing it back to them for consideration. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Let's move on down. To John Houghton, Public Works update.
Yeah, I just got finished up with work, so I didn't get an update, but I did want to inform the board and Steve that we did receive our $1 million from the Irwin project. They still are holding $100,000 until the wastewater treatment plant is finished. But on Monday, we received a $1 million check, just over $1 million. So that's all I have.
Well, that's great news. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, John. Before we adjourn, is there anything else that did not get addressed for the directors or Steve before we adjourn? Okay, so now 6:42 p.m. Can I get a motion for an adjournment?
So moved, Byron.
A motion by Vice President Brennan. Might I get a second?
I'll second it, Wallace.
A second by Director Wallace. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
President Rick West,
Yes.
Vice President Barry Glennon,
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes.
Director Greg Wood.
Yes.
Will the record show that 5 5-0 vote. Good night. Safe travels when you come back home, Steve. Good night, all.
Good night.